When you did, what happened? Were you all right?
I was fine. Yeah.
So it was just psychological.
All psychological, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And that's one of the things, with you that's so rare. There's only probably 2 handfuls of wrestlers that famously in the WWF would have these long, hour-long, when it was the main event of a pay-per-view back then, they would have, an hour was normal for you.
I did 330 hours. 3 years in a row, I did more than 330 hours.
Yeah. So like most pro wrestlers.
Sometimes 9 hours a week.
Yeah.
Twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday.
Unbelievable. So
That's
most pro
insane.
wrestlers that are famous, you have like, if you're in the main event on a Monday night or whatever, it's maybe 10, maybe 20. If it's a crazy match, maybe 30 minutes. But him versus Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels versus Hulk Hogan versus Andre versus everybody. It was long,
Steamboat.
long matches.
Same.
Steamboat, Randy Savage.
Why was that?
Because in the old days, if you're the NWA champion, it was either you win or you go Broadway. And none of the promoters, because I traveled around the world, none of the promoters wanted their top guy to get beat. The problem is that half the guys couldn't wrestle for an hour, so I'm wrestling myself.
Yeah.
The last half hour, basically wrestling myself.
Oh, wow.
Putting on a show.
Yeah,
In
the
round.
worst part was down here with the Von Erichs. I'm sure you remember that story.
Sure.
They actually had a movie coming out. Had to wrestle all those kids, and they had a lot of issues with chemicals, and it just was a nightmare. Greatest kids in the world, but to wrestle an hour with someone that's impaired is really rough.
Was it rough because they couldn't coordinate right?
Coordinate, yeah. I don't mean physically rough,
Right.
but just difficult
They were just out there.
to tell a story, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right. So when you would have a match like that, that's an hour match, were you just kind of flowing, figuring out? Did you have a preconceived ending to it, or did you just kind of?
I'd always just call it the ring because I had to hear the crowd. Mm-hmm. I don't do that now, but for me, even like right before I retired, I got to hear the crowd because you can put all this together in rehearsal, right, and walk out, and all of a sudden the crowd is going. That they can turn on you just like this, right? So you got, which takes a lifetime to learn. You got to have plan A, plan B. I mean, it's kind of like a football team getting ready to go out and 3 receivers drop the first long pass. You know what I mean? You've got to start all over again.
So when you would get out there, you and the guy would be working. You would call things,
Yeah.
and so you just sort of orchestrated the whole thing from there. Wow, that's for a whole hour. You have to be in insane shape.
I say, kids, it's like riding a Greyhound bus, leave it driving to me.
But you got to be in insane shape to do that for 9 hours a week. Mm-hmm. The amount of physical beating that pro wrestlers put on their body is like really nothing in entertainment or sports. Because the amount of shows you guys do.
Because it's every day. There's no season.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no time off. That's what people don't appreciate. There's no time off. So WrestleMania just got over, right? The kids have 7 days off. They're right back at it. So they get 7 days after WrestleMania.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Especially for the kind of impacts those guys take.
Yeah. The stuff they do now is insanity. Yeah. We didn't have all the ladder matches, and I've only been in a couple of those. I've been through the tables and all that stuff 100 times, but those ladder matches, like where Edge was spearing Jeff Hardy.
Oh, yeah, totally. But there was also even crazier stuff that happened in your era that doesn't happen anymore, like steel chairs to the head.
Kill ourselves. Yeah, I took 2 blades.
And all the blood.
For every hour.
I've seen this guy bleed more than any other human ever.
Get her about 20 and then get her about the 45-minute mark.
What are you using, like just a small razor?
Johnson blade, break it in half, tape it up. I learned that in '72 before I even started working. The guy said, if you want to make $50 extra, do you mind cutting yourself? I said, shit, no. Because right then I was making $50, and if I cut myself, I got 50 more, so I got 100.
And how many times a week would you cut yourself?
Every day.
Oh, my God. That's so
Until
crazy.
Vince said, no.
Right.
Vince said no more cuts? There you go.
Oh, this is a great promo.
You were fucking jacked back then, too.
Yeah, I was pretty healthy.
How much did you, but since you're doing that much touring and that much wrestling, how much time did you get to, like, work out? Or did you
I worked
only
out every
work
day, no matter what. No matter what. If I got in at 4 in the morning, I worked out at 5.
Really?
I never missed it. 500 free squats, push-ups. You know, mostly an all-around body workout once I was working full-time. So an hour and a half and then 30 minutes of cardio, either 500 free squats or the Stairmaster.
Was that common with other guys like you?
No.
It was just your work ethic.
That was mine because I just had it in my mind that I had to be at work. And then, because by the time you fly to town, get there, go get a tan, you haven't got time to work out, you know. I want to work out in the morning, then I'm going to got a couple hours in the afternoon to relax, to go tan. So I just trained myself to do it early in the morning.
And so that was the only way you would have been able to wrestle 9 hours a week.
Yeah.
I mean, if you weren't in peak physical condition, that is a grueling schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody really would understand how insane that is. That's not 7 days a week, 1 hour a day. That's insane. Yeah. But 9 hours a week is bananas.
1 year I wrestled 426 times.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Not all hours, but that's how many days I wrestled.
That's insane.
How many matches I wrestled in a year.
The amount of impact on your body, the falls, the slams, the fucking clotheslines, like holy shit.